Ralston, we need to go now. We need to do this now. Come on. And welcome to the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester for Game 2 of our National Cup Finals weekend. We saw an absolute thriller between the Stockport Lapwings and the Solent Kestrels. That, of course, went the way of the Division 2 side, the Lapwings. And now it's our Division 1 men's final between the Solent Kestrels and Team Newcastle University. John Hobbs just about caught my breath from the first game. Jason Swaine luckily was on the stands watching it. Oh, we can calm down a little bit now, can't we, from that?
Yes, we can. And I mean, is it the day of the underdog today, John? I mean,
absolutely.
You know, Stockport came in here and beat Solent from a division lower, and these things shouldn't happen. And Solent, you know, will be the favourites again for this one as that ball flies over and I rescue you, John. But, yeah, will Newcastle be able to try keep that trend of it going, the underdog?
Brendan Okoronkwo wanted to get me during the pre-game. He nearly did it there. But either way, we're now concentrating on the men's final. And this is a second final of the season for Team Newcastle. Solent hurting a little bit from their semi-final loss in the L. Lynch Trophy. A lot of emphasis on them today.
Yeah, and rightly so. They'll be the favourites because of their dominance in the last 4 years. But like you say, they'll be hurting from that last one, and it's one they'll have missed. So they'll be definitely wanting to get this one. The question is, can Newcastle cause that upset?
Absolutely, and Jason caught up with the two coaches just before tip-off here today.
Okay, I've got Coach Elderkin looking forward to your final, and you know, you guys are from the north, we've got Solent from the south. But you've seen it all. You've been a player in the north, you've been a player coach, and now you're a coach. I mean, how proud is it for you to lead this team out in the final?
Unbelievably proud, especially the way we did it. So we lost the cup final in the L. Lynch final, and then 1 week later we're in another semi-final. And I think that showed real resilience to be able to bounce back and put in a big performance. So to get to a second final in one season, yeah, really proud.
Yeah, it's a big achievement, and along the way you beat the league leaders at the moment, which are the Worthing Thunder, and then you beat Thames Valley, which is another class outfit to get here. So, you know, what's the mood in camp? How you guys have been preparing? How are you guys feeling coming into this game?
We're confident. We're always confident. And this final, we've had a few weeks and we've had a few more games and we've had practice sessions, so obviously it's a lot easier. And then 2 wins as well to give us confidence. I think that makes a big difference. And that win against Thames Valley was a big confidence boost and bounced us right back. So, yeah, I think we're in good form and good spirits as well.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, going forward, Mark, you know, a lot of people will say, well, Solent's a winning club. They've dominated in some respects the last 4 years, and you come in as the underdog. Does that suit, or does it go against you?
I do think it suits us.
Right.
We are used to coming from behind in games. I think the other one was our first final, our first experience of ever being in a final ever before. And obviously Solent have been in many finals and won many finals, but I think we've got that experience now, and I think we'll be a lot calmer this time round.
Right, good stuff. And both teams are here for a reason. You both deserve to be here.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck in the game going
Cheers.
forward.
Thank you.
Hi, so I have assistant coach Jack O'Keefe for the Solent Kestrels. You know, Jack, this is your 8th year with Solent. You know, it seems like the last 4 years you guys have really dominated this league, and you know, and difficult coming into every final. But how proud are you leading this team out in this final?
Yeah, extremely proud. I know that everybody at the club is super excited to be in another showcase final, and more importantly, I know the guys, how much they sacrifice, how much work they put in day to day, and you know they deserve it. You know, I'm glad we can get back to another showpiece event, and yeah, it's just a testament to the work the guys have been putting in on a day-to-day basis, to be honest.
Yeah, great. And I mean, in second place in the league at the moment, you know, currently just behind Worthing, and you'll be looking to change that. But you guys strongly coming as favourites because of the tradition you've had over the last few years. Does that put added pressure on you guys?
I'm not sure it's added pressure. I think the guys are very much on a one game at a time basis. I think that's how we've been able to be successful over the past 3 or 4 years. And we know, how good Newcastle are. They've shown that they've already been in a showpiece event this year. And I know how keen they'll be to try and right the wrong after losing to Derby. So, yeah, I don't think it adds any extra pressure. I think the guys have been in these games enough to know what they're about. And we respect the occasion and respect the opponent. So, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, true. And I think I've been fortunate enough to see, you know, the evolution of the Solent Kestrels. I mean, I'm thinking back to Fleming Park and when you guys used to play there, and now you've got your own arena and things seem to be going really well. You're involved in many parts of the club, not just the first team. So, you know, I mean, how's that come along? How would you say that's been over the last 8 years, maybe?
Yeah, I think from strength to strength, each year we try to see if we can add a little bit more, whether that's taking care of the players, whether that's, you know, doing things at grassroots, but more importantly, not forgetting the roots of the club. You know, the academy, the junior program, the Guyman family built, and that's what this club is built on. You know, that Kestrels family. So, yeah, it's fantastic. We've been able to go from strength to strength. Having the link with Solent University is massive in that as well now, and there's so many people that, you know, make it tick behind the scenes. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, and I know you're preparing for a big game, you and Coach Guyman, so, you know, thank you for your time. I do appreciate it, and best of luck going forward.
No, thanks very much, Jason.
Okay,
so a warm afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester, where Team Newcastle University look to end their 3-game losing streak to a Solent Kestrels side who aim to retain the George Williams Trophy that they won in 2020. And the game will tip off at 10-4 today. Of course, a late running tip-off due to the late running Women's Cup final between Stockport and Solent. And as we just await the tip-off, we will just be back in a few minutes. We've just going to sort out our headset for Jason Swaine. We'll be back in just a moment. So as you see, Team Newcastle University just warming up their second final in less than a month. John Hobbs alongside Jason Swaine. Jason, welcome. And as we get our breath back from the women's final, this is a huge game today for both teams, as we said in the pre-game show. Newcastle looking to atone from their defeat to Derby in the L. Lynch Trophy final with a win here in the National Cup. For Solent, still bittering over that loss to the Derby Trailblazers in the semi-finals of the Lynch Trophy, looking to land their first title and to retain the National Cup that they won in 2020.
Yeah, so different mindsets from both teams coming in. Solent will be wanting to defend what they rightfully think is theirs. They've made, a great start to the season, although they're in second. But Newcastle, like you say, wounded from that last cup defeat, and they'll be thinking, well, we've already been to one. This is now our time. So anything's possible in this final. Kind of throw the records out the window, and let's see what goes on, John.
Let's go with today's team sheets as we start with the Solent Kestrels. And, a team that we all know, or obviously that's the women's team, not the men's team. But a team that, we all know they've got, veterans on their roster. Orlan Jackman, Cole Gentry, of course, a first-year American. Who stands out for you?
Well, Travis Charles has been the constant over the years. I mean, you mentioned Cole Gentry, and Coach Guyman always likes to go with a point guard. When we look back at Herm Senna, who was there in the past, he was good at controlling the floor, and Cole Gentry is that guy. But Travis Charles plays such an important part. I know, speaking to him before the game, has been struggling with a back injury, but just getting his feel. I'll be interested to see if how much he finds the rhythm of this game. So for me, being a bigger player and be able to dominate over sometimes the smaller guys at Newcastle, I'll look for Travis Charles to play an important part. But you look at guys Okoronkwo and co. They'll be chipping in as well.
And then we'll go to Team Newcastle University, and of course, a team that is dominated by the three Americans, David Moyer, Brandon Federici and Ronald Blaine. Some big names there. Who else stands out for you?
So you've just spoke about the big three, and no bigger one than Ronald Blaine, who's having a fantastic season. But Ubantu at point guard, plays a massive role as he's going up against Cole Gentry. But also, Martin Gale, is a weapon too. So, these guys have more than just the big three, and I think both teams are well equipped for this final.
Apologies for not getting the team sheets up. So we're starting fives for the two teams. For Team Newcastle, David Moyer, Thembi Ubantu, Brandon Federici, Ronald Blaine and Martin Gale, another huge weapon at Newcastle's disposal. And for the Solent Kestrels, Max Richardson, Cole Gentry, Luke Bazumbru, Elliot Dadds and Travis Charles. A good starting five from both teams. A lot of good shooters, players who can rebound, but players who can get up and down the floor really quickly.
Yeah, and I think Elliot Dadds for one brings all that Solent. He's like the blue tack of this team. So they've got guys that can do that, but they've also got guys that can play massive roles going forward. And Newcastle have guys in abundance too. But definitely, I'm looking for maybe a high scoring game, because like you just said, both these teams can score.
So Ronald Blaine and Max Richardson ready to tip it up in what has been an incredible weekend of basketball, starting with the junior finals at under 16, under 18 level, and culminating here with Team Newcastle and Solent Kestrels in the men's finals. So Newcastle get the first possession of this game. Here is Ubantu.
Looking to see, John, how this ball will move, what sort of style these guys are able to play, and as they go quickly to the main man, Ronald Blaine.
Blaine off right with his short two-elbow jumper. Here is Gentry. Gentry, of course, leading the team in three-point percentage. Was on fire last week against Derby and Reading.
Yeah, and capable of scoring in batches. And
here is Dadds inside. Beautiful move from Elliot Dadds, and Solent on the board.
Great move, and Cole Gentry will be looking to get others involved and then pick up his, but nice move by Dadds.
Federici, Ubantu, Moyer. Martin Gale pulls up for two, and that's money.
Yeah, and a nice mid-range. All good scorers score from the mid-range, and Martin Gale showing he can get it done.
Bazumbru puts on the jets, goes inside. No call there, but it will go to Newcastle.
Yeah, and I think it's the right no call. Maybe he was inside, maybe he's not. Definitely not a charge, and definitely not a block.
Here is Ubantu.
Yeah, interesting. Travis Charles is picking up Ubantu on the perimeter. I don't know the strategy of Coach Guyman.
Federici doesn't get that short two to fall. Federici struggled in periods in the L Lynch Trophy final against Derby. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Kestrels. And we didn't have time to really talk about this in the pre-game show, obviously, due to the late running women's final. But of course, Solent came into this game as Bazumbru puts up a three, and it's long. Solent came into this game, on the back of two straight wins after three straight losses as well. So they're in unfamiliar territory as Ubantu off back iron with his three.
Yeah, and they are. And speaking to Coach Guyman before the game, he said one of the big things he's had to deal with is the complacency in many ways that you sometimes fall into. So dominant over these years, and guys are always going to give them the best shot, John.
Kestrels winning 2 games last weekend as part of their doubleheader. Of course, one of them was against Derby on NBL Live. Here is Gentry, who was feeling it from downtown, and he's feeling it again here.
Yeah, and he's not likely to miss 2 in a row as he gets a look from the same spot and knocks that one down.
5 for 7 in the win against Reading. Steal there as Dads comes up with it. And Dads with the easy lay-in, and Mr. Southampton is off the mark.
Yeah, and how good's he been, John, over these last few years? Terrific, just a constant high performer, Elliot Dads.
Had a double-double in the semi-final win against the London Lions too, 19 points, 12 boards, as a whistle has gone. Solent have raced out to a 7-2 lead in the early going.
Yeah, and what you don't want as Newcastle is to let this Solent train start going. You want to put some stops in, you know, quieten them offensively and just hang in there at times.
Blaine looking for options, finds it in Moyer, who puts up a 3. It's in and out. Richardson skies, jumps out of the gym for the rebound. Here is Gentry. Inside to Charles on the turnaround, and that's good.
Yeah, and the style of play is different. You know, Solent throwing the ball inside, Newcastle shooting the ball from the outside. Let's see which one will prevail.
Yabantu kicks it out to Federici. Round the back pass, risky, gets it back, puts it in. Solent playing at a furious pace so far. Richardson finds Charles stripped by Moyer. David Moyer leading the league in steals at 2.5 a game. Dads in and out with his 3.
Yeah, good defense by Newcastle. Not the shot that Solent won. Able to force Elliot Dads into a long-range jumper.
Gale over Charles, and Arisol rebounds. Arisol, who checked into the game for Bazumbru. Gentry is fouled by Moyer. I think Gentry was looking for that body contact and got it successfully.
Yeah, and just as we go to this breaking play, Andre Arisol, I'm a big fan. You know, I think he's come back to the country, and he's always in attack mode. He puts pressure on the defense, and defensively he's outstanding. So, you know, definitely great addition over the last few years to the Solent Kestrels.
Andre Arisol, MVP of the L Lynch Trophy final back in 2021. Jackman bullies his way inside for 2 off the glass.
Just knows how to get it done, John. You know, able to score from outside and post up and be dominant.
Kamel Archer with the rebound off the miss from Blaine. Here is Jackman again, backing up Blaine, and a whistle has gone. Foul is on the floor, and it will be a Kestrels ball. And so far, Kestrels have got into their rhythm. That's a first foul on Ronald Blaine, and Newcastle just struggling to find an offensive rhythm themselves.
Yeah, I think, Newcastle will be also aware of Blaine is guarding Alden Jackman, and Alden Jackman is the type of guy that he can smell blood. So what's 1 foul? Can he get him on 2 fouls, early on in this game, which would be big?
Jackman off the inbound pass from Gentry, and Jackman will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and right on cue, the mismatch, there's a screen, he opens up, and he's got the smaller Gale guarding him. A nice pass from Cole Gentry, and, Alden Jackman smart enough to get to the free throw line.
So Alden Jackman to the foul line, 18 points, 9 boards against Derby, and there was one particular play, Jason, where he rolled back the years with a huge dunk in transition.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's capable of doing that, but he's probably always going to be your second or third best guy in every single game. He's constantly active, he constantly rebounds, and he's never a negative on this team.
Player with so many years of BBL experience. This is the second, but Archer with a big offensive rebound, and Solent will get it back and put in a 2. Beautiful move from Kamel Archer.
Yeah, nice left-hand finish.
That's 3 quick points for Solent, and they have a 9-point lead in the early going. Yabantu on the floater over Jackman.
Yeah, tough shot by Yabantu at the outstretched Jackman. Nice feathery touch by the young fella.
And Yabantu, who played in the L Lynch Trophy, and as soon as that game ended, actually came straight here for the BBL game with the Eagles and the Giants. Just showing his dedication to the cause as Dads misses the corner 3. Moyer looks for Blaine and finds him. Putting the moves on Jackman. Federici Goes inside, over Jackman again, and that's money. That's beautifully done from Brandon Federici.
Yeah, and he's a crafty player. That's 2 buckets he's got, you know, right at the rim, able to maneuver himself towards the basket, and a nice finish.
Jackman looking to answer for 3, but it's off. And Moyer comes up with it again. Fast pace to this game. Moyer steps back for 3, and that's way off. Solent lead 13-8 with 4:34 remaining in the first. Gentry inside to Dads. This is the layup. Archer, another offensive rebound. And Moyer comes up with it. Here is Gale. Newcastle can break here. They've got 3 on 2. Gale with a step-up jumper is good.
Beautiful shot by Martin Gale from the foul line. Just could have taken the layup, but confident enough to pull up from 15 feet.
Only shot 3 for 13 from the field in the Eldridge Trophy final, but good with his first attempt here. Gentry. Aerosol, 7 to shoot. Aerosol pulls up at the elbow and banks it home.
Are we going to give him that one, John?
The bank is open on a Sunday here in Bellevue. They need more banks open around here anyway, as Federici puts in a 3 at the other end.
That's a massive shot. You know, Ronald Blaine, they're keen on defensively. The help side is there every time. And Federici's able to take advantage and step up.
Aerosol looks to answer for 3 off the back iron. Big rebound from Yabantu. Federici way outside, and Jackman rebounds. It's one of Federici's favourite spots for 3. Aerosol himself wide open. This is another. Dads. Good defense there from Blaine. Turnover for the Kestrels. Great defense there from Ronald Blaine.
Yeah, and a gutsy play too. He's already on that first foul. He knows how important he is to this team. So picking up that extra one would have been, you know, not a good move. So, you know, he had to be definitely on point with that one.
As Michael Hamilton comes into the game for the first time for Newcastle. Hamilton had such a good game last week against London Lions 2, 11.6 assists. Moyer for 3, rattles around and out. Gentry inside to Bazumbru, beautiful cut from Luke Bazumbru.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again, John. I mean, Bazumba, excellent going to the basket. They're backing up on him and giving him 3s, but that's bad news for the Newcastle team.
Moyer goes out of room, but still finds Federici inside. Federici misses everything.
Yeah, one too many passes there.
Bazumbru, Aerosol from the corner, strings a 3. And a timeout has been called by Mark Elderkin. He has seen enough. Solent racing out to a 20-13 lead with 2:18 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Solent, I don't know who will be the two happier of the coaches, because the game plan of Newcastle's has been quite good. They're allowing Solent to shoot from the outside because they know the pressure that's put on their defense if they don't, but also we've just seen Solent get out in transition, which is pleasing, and I'm sure that's what's led to the timeout for Coach Elderkin.
Absolutely, and you know, while we've got a quick break in play, just continuing on from what we were trying to do in our pre-game show, of course, time restraints couldn't allow us, but obviously a former Bradford Dragons man, you know, in the NBL, you had your career at Tees Valley, and of course at Manchester. Basketball in the north, and the northeast, northwest, huge in this country. What is it like to have facilities here in Manchester, especially where you commentate for the Giants? You know, 2 good basketball venues, and of course we got a National Cup final here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the last couple of years has been quite exciting. The COVID year, you know, put a stop to that for the fans. But this year, we're seeing more teams in more, you know, purpose-built places like this, you know, that holds probably the right amount of fans, so it's able to fill up, and you know, fans will be able to get behind the teams. And you know, there's some excellent players in both divisions. I still say Division 1 is very underrated. You know, there's some excellent players who could be playing at the BBL level. But yeah, it's really good to get involved and watch these games now, John, and I'm privileged to be part of, you know, the Manchester Giants commentary team.
Solent with a little bit of a press there, but Moyer breaks it easily. Gale puts up a 3. Ball battered around, and on the follow, Hamilton misses everything. And here comes Arisol for the Kestrels. Both teams really pushing the ball hard up and down the floor. Here is Archer. Finds Bazumbru. Extra pass to Arisol. Arisol loses the handle, 6 to shoot here. Jackman, a little bit of room from the foul line. Moya loses the ball, Jackman comes up with it, and in transition, Bazumbru goes for the big play, blocked by Blaine.
Wow.
Luke Bazumbru going for the highlight play, but Ronald Blaine says, not in my house.
Yeah, and 2 high flyers there, you know, Bazumba taking it at Blaine, yet again, evading that second foul that he's doing such a good job as. You know, what a sensational block as he takes that on right at the top.
Absolutely, right at the top there as you see it on the replay. Gentry finds Jackman. Jackman backing down Federici. Jackman, that's too easy for Orlan Jackman.
Yeah, and that's men playing against boys, you know, he's just having his way, and he's done that probably 3 and 4 times already in this game. Great play.
11-point lead for the Kestrels here in the National Cup final. Hamilton bumps Arisol, offensive foul called. The reigning defensive player of the year getting in and letting us know why he is the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, great play, and I saw that coming from a long way where Andre Arisol quick enough to get outside the restricted area and take that charge. Good play by the young fella.
Brendan Okoronkwo into the game for the first time for the Kestrels as Cole Gentry takes a seat. Final minute of this first quarter, and the Kestrels lead by 11. Looking to stretch that advantage further. Okoronkwo with the hook, no good, or the float, excuse me. Ubantu. Federici looking for the 3, instead drives at Okoronkwo, goes glass, and Jackman rebounds. Everything going Solent's way so far. Bazumbru goes inside, puts it in, and a foul. Bit of muscle with the hustle.
Yeah, and he's been terrific. I mean, he's kind of changed the game for me, John. He's been taking it at Newcastle whenever he's got it, and it spells trouble for a Newcastle team when he gets the ball, you know, especially on the break.
First foul on Jack Cork as Bazumbru goes to the line for the extra free throw and makes it count. 31.4 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Newcastle already with it all to do. This has been a familiar trademark over the years from the Kestrels, getting out to fast starts. Gale with Okoronkwo in his face. Cork with the offensive rebound. Gale has it back. Federici banks it home.
Crafty shot by Federici there.
Final seconds of this first quarter. So Arisol's got to put up something, does, and puts it in on the buzzer. Wow. And that just ends the first quarter, and that's pretty much how it's gone for Solent right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, the Newcastle team have been backing up. They've been allowing Solent to shoot the ball, and now they're making them. And, you know, maybe look for a defensive change when they come out for the second quarter, the Newcastle team. But, you know, Solent are rolling right now. Solent
shooting 52% from the field right now. Arisol leads the way with 7 points. Brandon Federici leads all scorers with 9 points, but Newcastle only 3 players on the board right now, and Solent with 7.
Yeah, and I mean, Solent kind of know how to share the wealth. You know, Cole Gentry is able to, you know, pick people out. You've got Orlan Jackman. When Brendan Okoronkwo comes in, it's definitely not a downgrade. And then on the other side, you've got Newcastle, where we spoke about the big 3. If they don't step up, it's going to be tough. So they have to get going individually, I would say.
Absolutely, and 29-15, Newcastle. You know, we speak about it quite a lot with Team Newcastle. They're a fourth quarter team. They always come alive in the final period. So it's a case of never counting them out. They've trailed by as many as like 17, 18 in some games leading into the fourth quarter and come back and actually get the win. So they're not out of it yet, but it's not been the greatest of starts for them.
No, and you're right, and I think that's down to the individual talent that the Newcastle team have. Ronald Blaine is able to get scoring, so is Moya, so is Federici, and I think that's probably why they can come at you in the fourth, but let's hope they get going soon, because this game might be over by
Absolutely,
then.
and Solent, as I said, known for their strong starts. They did it all last season on their way to reclaiming or claiming all the titles that were available in NBL Division 1. And already with their eyes on the prize here today.
And so important as a dominant team to get out to good starts. Some teams just roll over if you play that well. So, you know, it is important for them to get out to good starts. Let's see if Newcastle can weather that storm.
Buzumbru finds Arisol to Charles. Charles. 8 on the shot clock. Here is Richardson wide open for 3, and he puts it in. Max Richardson, who struggled to find his feet in the win over Derby on Saturday night in front of the NBL live cameras, registers his first field goal of the day, and here is Richardson on the ball, off the miss from Moya. Arisol puts on the jets, goes glass, and a whistle has gone.
I think the tempo of this game, John, is just suits Solent. They're bringing guys off the bench. We've just seen Max Richardson step in and nail a 3 like it's a practice shot. And Andre Arisol's pushing that ball, and Bazumba, you know, Newcastle have to get a hold of this game, otherwise it's going to get quickly out of control.
Gap is already 17 points as Blaine has it. Finds Moya from the elbow. And Newcastle's woes continue. You can see the look of disdain on Moya's face as he missed that, as Buzumbru backs down his man. Travis Charles from his favourite spot, but he misses it. Here is Blaine driving Arisol. Arisol just gets a hand in, and it will stay with Team Newcastle.
One of those guys that you think you've got beat, and then he suddenly sticks his hand in there, and that's why he's so special defensively.
Federici. Cork puts up a 2, and that's good, and that's a much-needed basket for Team Newcastle. Buzumbru has it back. Such a quick first step. But Moya comes up with the steal. And Buzumbru's pass just a bit too quick for Okoronkwo, and Okoronkwo quickly telling Buzumbru just to slow down. He had Richardson right next to him as Arisol will take a seat, and Cole Gentry comes back. Yeah, and we've just seen the change Mark Elderkin's just made. He's just thrown the Newcastle team into a zone and results in a turnover. So let's see how Solent handle that. Here is Moya. Blaine thought about the 3, instead drives at Richardson.
Yeah, nice. Has to get going. That'll help get into the foul line. Every good scorer can mix it up, can get to the foul line, can score from the outside. So that'll help Ronald Blaine. You mentioned that Newcastle going into a zone. Solent only shooting 3 for 10 from downtown. As Orlan Jackman comes back into the game, Max Richardson will take a seat. Yeah, so it's a tough call for Newcastle for me, John, because Solent have made some outside shots. Max Richardson comes in and makes a 3, and then Arisol's made a couple. So, you know, do you keep daring them? It's got to be the game plan, but do you keep daring them to shoot? And it looks like he's going to roll the dice and go into the zone and do that.
As Blaine, who averages a double-double this season of 28 points, 10 rebounds. He's actually second in the league in rebounds. Takes around 18 shots a game at 59%. That's quite a high clip for him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Charles muscling his way inside, finds a bit of room and scores. Travis Charles, who has struggled with injury all season long, starting to come into a bit of rhythm in this one as Blaine is wide open at the top of the key. And Buzumbru looks to switch from 2nd to 5th gear. Here is Buzumbru again off the feed from Charles. Okoronkwo is wide open for 3. Big rebound from Jackman, stripped by Federici, and Federici looks at the referee straight away. It looked like a clean foul, but as we see on the replay,
Hold on, John. Did you say a clean foul?
It look. Excuse
is
me.
that possible?
Clean. I said. Excuse me.
Yeah. That's maybe.
It's been a long day.
That's impossible, John.
I'm entitled to one missed word per day as Orlan Jackman makes the first. Hopefully that doesn't set me up for failure throughout this broadcast, but we'll see as Orlan Jackman goes for the second foul shot. Solent leading 35-19 with 7:30 remaining in the second. Make that 36-19. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everyone to our coverage today. It's been a fantastic weekend of basketball here at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. Of course, we'll be returning here for the playoff finals weekend as well, as Ronald Blaine has it. Moyer wide open in the corner. Yabantu loses the ball. Jackman comes up with it. Here is Bazumbru, 2-on-1. Bazumbru with the finish.
And he's been like a blur, John. I mean, I'm kind of shocked how good this Solent team is. You got guys like Elliot Sentence coming off the bench, Brendan Okoronkwo. You know, what a stacked team they've got.
Themba Yabantu with the two there as Carl Gentry off the back iron and looked like it could have dropped, but the backboard said no. Here is Blaine. Blaine in transition with the lay-in.
Yeah, good finish by Ronald Blaine.
Gentry. Jackman. Here is Elliot Sentence from the corner, and that just about rolls in.
Another proven scorer entering the game, making his first three.
Gap is now 18 points, the biggest lead of the game for the Kestrels. Blaine looks to answer back iron. Cork gets the offensive board. Moyer back to Blaine, and he's short with that three. And Newcastle.
Yeah, he has to keep taking that though, John. You know, for Newcastle to have any chance of getting back into this game, he still has to be assertive. That's not a bad shot at all for Ronald Blaine.
But Newcastle shooting 1 for 10 from downtown so far. As Bazumbru tries his luck and misses everything. 3 points, not his specialty, as Moyer has it. Blaine had it stripped by Gentry, but the referees thought there was a bit more to that than meets the eye.
You can see how tough it is for this Newcastle basketball team now. Ronald Blaine is gassed. You know, as he goes to the free throw line, he's having to earn every point that he's trying to get. And Solent doing a great job of doubling up on him, but also not losing track of Moyer. You know, Federici has got going, but apart from that, we haven't seen anyone really step up for this Newcastle team yet.
Absolutely, and you know, for Ronald Blaine, the majority of the time actually plays near on 36 to 40 minutes a game. So, you know, he puts so much to the cause. Yeah, as we have a break in play here and Solent lead by 18.
Yeah, he does, and you know, a lot rests on his shoulders, but during these finals, it's usually players that you don't usually see score a lot that step up and make key contributions. Like, you know, Bazumbru has come into this game and grabbed hold of it by the scruff of the neck. You know, Travis Charles has been quiet by his standards, but still dominant inside. And then you've got Aerosol and Max Richardson comes in and makes a three. Elliot Sentence the same. And it's generally those guys that make the difference in these finals.
So while we got a quick break in the play, just a big shout out to today's sponsors for our NBL Live broadcasts. The official ball supplier of the National Basketball League, Wilson, SportServe, Dynamic, Sport England, and Sure Shot. Of course, Sure Shot were the title sponsors in yesterday's junior finals. And a big congratulations to the two under-16 victors and the two under-18 winners. Of course, the winners, Manchester Magic, Islington Panthers, Kohler, Suffolk Pride and Haringey Angels. Fantastic day of junior basketball yesterday here in Manchester.
Yeah, it was, and you know, all those games closely fought, closely contested. You know, people, you know, parents, fans being in the building. You know, a nice venue, like you say, being able to be trekked to a really good high standard day of basketball.
course, the Sussex Storm and the Manchester Magic bringing a close to day one in the junior under-18 men's final, and that went down to the wire. Manchester Magic, who led for the majority of that game, were really pushed by a Sussex Storm led by former Worthing Thunder players Rob Newsom and Daniel Hildreth, but Manchester coming away with the win in front of their home fans. Here is Blaine for three, puts it in.
Big shot.
Dads finds Sentence, putting the moves on Federici. Alley-oop to Archer. Archer puts it up and in off the glass.
Yeah, what composure from Archer. Could have gone up and tried finish that with a dunk and came down, got his balance, able to finish on the two. Nice play.
Federici to Yabantu. Finds Blaine. Blaine, good defense there from Sentence, and Solent can come up with it. Archer. Archer couldn't quite find Gentry. Dads does. Extra pass to Sentence for three. It's in fact a long two. It's a long two for Elliot Sentence. His feet was on the line.
Yeah, so I saw that play coming the whole way and thought, when Ed Sentence catches it, that's not going anywhere else. Good shot.
That's the basketball IQ still there, Jason, huh?
The seeing things never goes, John. The doing things is the problem.
I will not comment any further on that as Newcastle get the ball back. But this coming from a guy who grazed a free throw off the rim this morning here. But either way, well, enough of my free throw woes. Here is Cork. Yabantu putting the moves on Gentry. Finds Blaine. Blaine puts up a three. That's off right. But Federici comes up with it. Cork backing down. Archer, and
nice
Cork's
touch.
hook is good.
He's done a good job coming in. He's kept second shots alive for Newcastle, and he's able to battle against the bigger guys. So he'll have to be out there.
Jackman, that's easily done from Orlan Jackman.
Speaking of bigger guys.
Orlan Jackman now moves on to 10. Yabantu finds Blaine on the spin. Actually had an open lane there, but decided to kick it out. Has it back here. Federici over Sentence. And Archer with another rebound, and a whistle has gone. Kamel Archer with 6-7 rebounds to go with 4 points early on.
Tough for Federici as well as he catches the ball low. It's just Solent and just bigger, faster, stronger at the moment. You know, as he gets a glimmer of a look, I would say.
Kestrels shooting 54% from the field, and in contrast, Newcastle shooting 37%. Jackman is wide open for three, and he puts it in again. Orlan Jackman, and Solent are really feeling it from downtown.
Just what you didn't want as Newcastle. You know, you definitely didn't want to see Solent get off to a good start and being able to nail threes.
Blaine looks to answer back and does in kind. Gentry. Here is Sentence. Sentence to an open. Camille Archer blows the layup though.
It's too open.
And Yabantu has it, and Yabantu is fouled by Elliot Sentence. And that's a first foul on Elliot Sentence.
I think the influence of Cole Gentry is massive also when they do take the lead, John, because he's a floor general and it's difficult to get back into ball games when the other team has that player who's able to control tempo, who's able to get good shots, make good decisions. So, you know, this is going to be a tough one for Newcastle to claw their way back into just because of him.
And Solent in the penalty, so Themba Yabantu will go to the line. As I said on the top of the show, Yabantu, such a loyal basketball player, played the El Lynch Trophy around 20-odd minutes in that El Lynch Trophy final in Sheffield. And as soon as the game ended, hopped on the bus and went straight here to Manchester, where the Eagles were playing the Giants.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't see him much on court for the Newcastle Eagles, but you know he's been on the bench for quite a number of years, and I'm hoping that at some point, you know, he does get a chance to play.
And a Bit of stroke of luck for Yabantu on that day, as Newcastle's team bus actually broke down.
Yes.
Heading to Manchester. That saved Yabantu priceless minutes as he raced up towards Manchester. Here is Gentry. Gentry off glass.
Nice touch as well.
Just a warning for the Solent players not to touch the ball as it comes down, and the Kestrels lead now at 52-34 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining of the half. The first half, it's really flown by, it must be said. Here is Moyer. Blaine putting the moves on Jackman. Blaine, an up and under layup, just about grazes the rim, and Jackman comes up with it.
Yeah, good defense from Olin Jackman there.
Gentry. Archer just about collects the bullet pass from him. Nice pass inside to Jackman. That's trademark Solent Kestrels basketball, and it's a 20-point lead.
Archer's been sensational, you know, he's done all the little things that matter, playing the game the right way and just getting it done, and great play by Archer.
Blaine for three, and he stems the bleeding in the corner. Here is Gentry. Solent have done such a good job in getting everyone involved. There's a steal there. Blaine going coast to coast with the two, and a quick timeout called by Matt Guyman. And trademark Matt Guyman timeout. You know, just one play is enough. If he doesn't like what he sees, straight away calls them over.
I mean, what we can't question is the experience of Matt Guyman. You know, been here, done that, and there'll be many occasions where he just needs to help his team through the times. He's been a player in the past. He understands tempo. He understands how to get the wins and get the best out of his players. And you know, I have the utmost respect for Matt Guyman and how he coaches.
And on the scoring front, Ronald Blaine leading all scorers with 16 for Newcastle, and for Solent, Orlan Jackman leading the way with 15. And for Matt Guyman, as you can see him there, just barking some instructions at his team. You know, what do you think he is telling his team in this timeout?
Well, the thing he'll be conscious of is the complacency which he spoke about. Newcastle are starting now to score, but the good news is they're trading buckets, and it's been a good start for Solent. But Matt Guyman want to keep this lead. He'll want to try extend it to around the 20-point mark again going into this second. What you don't want to do is give Ronald Blaine and Cole life going into the second half.
And for Solent, so far they have scored 31 points off the bench to Newcastle's 4, and that is a huge statistic as we enter the final 90 seconds of the half. And
it tells you a lot going forward, John, because you don't know who it's going to be for Solent. You know that Ronald Blaine is going to get it done, and they'll allow that, that's fine. But for Solent, you never know who's going to score, and that's a big thing for the Kestrels.
And that's something that Cole Gentry was telling me pre-game, that you know there's multiple players who can put points on the board, and there's no one more important than the other, as Mazumbru almost lost the handle there, and foul has been called as Emmanuel Kabegeli is into the game for the first time.
Yeah, you know, managed to get Mazumbru to actually spin and go where he didn't want him, had him under the basket, and just kind of bailed him out in a way with the foul.
Mazumbru finding his feet from the foul line. This season he was only a 56% foul shooter, but has most definitely found his form in the last week or so as he makes the first. Another player that, like we mentioned with Travis Charles earlier on, struggling, you know, with injury concerns, just getting himself back into full fitness. Luke Mazumbru, another one of those players, you know, throughout the lockdown was really struggling with injury himself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they missed that. You know, they've got added backup now, but I think they really missed him going forward, because he was playing like he's doing now, and then fortunately got injured. So glad to see him back.
Blaine turned over there as Jackman comes up with it. Jackman just loses the handle as he went for the round the back dribble. Jackman gets it back though. Here is Gentry as we enter the final 45 seconds of the first half. Jackman, smart move there from Orlan Jackman, anticipating where Kabengele was going, and just got the foul. That's 2 quick fouls on Kabengele.
Yeah, and it's just smart play again by Orlan Jackman. I mean, he's in no rush. He gets to where he wants to be. He gets whatever shot he wants, and plays the game at his speed. And a really smart play.
And Orlan Jackman with 15 points and 5 rebounds so far in this first half. Definitely one of the standout players for the Kestrels as they lead 55-39 as we inch closer to the half-time break.
Has to play well for me, John, in those red Jordans. Can't have a quiet game with shoes like that.
Wearing those Flint red 13s, Orlan Jackman. Debuted them, I think, at the playoff final last season against the Hemel Storm.
Yeah.
That's a stat. I don't know how I knew that, but either way.
Hey, you know a lot about shoes, John.
Gale for 3, and that's off.
I know the feeling in this Newcastle team right now. You just can't get them to fall, and every shot becomes bigger. Because the more you miss, the more this lead is extended as they possibly could go in at the half, 19 and 20 up.
Just a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock, and Gentry realises that. So 4 to shoot for him.
Great
nice pass to Aerosol in the corner, and
Gentry.
Aerosol off the back iron. Jackman puts it up on the buzzer and gets it to go. That will count. The referees will just need to double check that.
Newcastle stopped playing.
Yeah, that should count. The shot did go off in plenty of time. And the basket does count. So Orlan Jackman has 18 points to lead all scorers for the Kestrels. And hopefully Jason will get a halftime interview with at least one player, I hope so. But right now, Orlan Jackman leading the way with 18 points. And Ronald Blaine with 16 points for Team Newcastle University, but right now the Kestrels lead Newcastle 58-39.
Yeah, and it's a big lead, and like I say, with Cole Gentry out here and the play of Orlan Jackman, who's been sensationally smart, it is going to be a tough ask for this Newcastle team. All you can hope is that Blaine, Federici and Moyer can all get going and quickly. And
a statistic here is, Solent shooting 56% from the field. They're out rebounding Newcastle 27 to 18, excuse me. Those are huge statistics right there.
Yeah, they are, and you kind of would have expected them to out rebound. They're physical, they're stronger at different positions, but so much depends on the firepower of Newcastle. If those shots are not going in, then there's more rebounds to be had, and there's no more dominant team than Solent Kestrels, on the glass in this league.
So that is half-time here in the Men's National Cup final. The Solent Kestrels lead Team Newcastle 58-39. We'll be back in roughly 10 minutes' time.
What is commitment? We have commitment is very difficult to do. Without commitment, sport is nothing. Without commitment, sport can be just recreational tool. Like if we want to have sport as educational tool, it has to be commitment.
So Slam Jam, it's a new initiative by Basketball England, targeted at 7 to 11-year-olds. It's about getting the children to have fun, to link basketball with a fun experience so that we can get lifelong involvement in the sport. And it's really focused on engagement and a fun, positive first experience. So it's not so much about the skill development side of basketball. It's really just about giving people a positive first experience of basketball. They're having fun, they're with their friends, they can develop at their own pace in their own time. So it's really developing on coordination, core strength, as well as basketball skills. So there's not necessarily basketball specific games, but they've got basketballs thrown in there. So they're working on dribbling, shooting, passing in a less structured environment than like a training session. And it's just focused on fun and getting primary school age children engaged. When they come to the first Slam Jam session, they get a t-shirt which they can keep. Each primary school, they get some Slam Jam basketballs and a little goodie bag that the children can take home. And another thing, throughout the session, if we see like someone's doing really good at a certain skill or teamwork or being just nice and friendly to other people, they can get stickers. Good practice and sportsmanship as well as being good at the skills. So I think the reason this program is different is that there's a 12-week curriculum and there's different things to work on. And obviously, as a coach, you can kind of chop and change a little bit as is appropriate for the age group that you're teaching. But it just means that everybody's getting that same fun, first positive experience. Literally, we're just trying to get them to have positive experiences with basketball so that later on they can be maybe even just a supporter of the game. Go online, get in touch with Basketball England. They can also search Slam Jam for the local centres to them that run the initiative, and they can inquire and maybe even get a coach to come in and run a 12-week session.
Semi-final by 12 points and move through to the gold medal game. They're guaranteed a medal here.
and welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester, where the Solent Kestrels lead Team Newcastle University 58-39 in our final game of Cup Finals weekend. John Hobbs alongside Manchester basketball legend Jason Swaine. And Jason, if you're Newcastle, obviously we spoke earlier about the second half and how, you know, they're a fourth quarter team. How are Newcastle going to get their way out of this predicament right now?
So small steps, really, John. I mean, you need to trim this down to maybe, 10 going into the fourth quarter. So as a coach, you want to be looking at, can you get it down to 15? Can you chip away? But, we spoke at halftime. Quickly, Ronald Blaine has to keep going. I think he's found his rhythm, but Federici and Moya have to add to that. And, this game has to be chipped away in small steps, I would say.
Trailed by as many as 16 in the L Lynch Trophy final against the Derby Trailblazers. They made a huge fourth quarter comeback. It wasn't yet to be. And for Solent, it's just about executing on offense.
Yeah, and we said that the problem is for Newcastle is Cole Gentry is on the floor, and he's been able to dictate the tempo of the game, but Zumba's been able to push the pace. Coach Guyman obviously knows his team, but it's difficult to get back in when you have a floor general such as Cole Gentry who's able to, conduct traffic, would you say?
Absolutely. So we are just about to start the third quarter in what has been a fantastic weekend of basketball here in the Northwest. Of course, the unfortunate situation of having to move the National Cup finals from the University of Essex to Manchester, but Manchester have absolutely done British basketball proud by hosting some fantastic games over the stretch of this weekend.
Yeah, and when you come into this venue, I mean, when you pull up in your car and you walk in, you can feel a sense of, this is a great place to be, basketball-wise for the fans. They're close to the court. It's able to be filled quite well, and, the court is a really nice court to play on, and it just seems a really nice arena to be in.
Of course, we've had teams from all around London. We've had teams from Crawley in West Sussex, and, of course, Southampton, and way up north to Newcastle, who are on the ball right now, all congregating around Manchester this weekend. Here is Yabantu to get the third started. Finds Gale at the foul line. Finds Yabantu. A wild pass, but Gale has it. Shot clock down to 6, and Moya's three is short.
Yeah, good ball movement from Newcastle, though, as they get an open look, and it seems like the energy as Newcastle have come out with is good.
4 for 17 from downtown Newcastle so far. Richardson for 3, and Richardson is long with his corner attempt. Moya. Martin Gale is short with his 3. Inside it goes to Blaine, and Blaine's short jumper is no good. Here is Dads over the top to Charles. Good read there from Blaine, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Kestrels.
Yeah, and you love to see that. Your main guy misses at the rim, but he's hustling back down court and able to break up the play, because Charles would have had a definite 2.
Still no score in this third period, a minute played.
Referee just talking to, Martin Gale about, maybe flopping. Guys that play don't like to have that call made against them, and you've got to be sure as a referee that that's what he did. It's quite an insulting thing as a player to actually think, oh, I was flopping. Nice
as
play.
Dads goes inside and one as the shot clock was winding down. Great basketball there from the Kestrels, realizing that the shot clock was winding down, never rushed, went to their spot, and that's the result.
And I think coaching-wise, that's a play they've come up with. It's identical to the first basket in the first half, as Elliot Dads is able to kiss it off the glass with the right. It was the left in the first half, and just keep moving on offense, and he seems to just pop up in areas that he's always in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely, and a man who, when Solent were in Division 2, was one of the main offensive threats, but as the years have gone on since Solent have been in Division 1, and Dads has adjusted himself absolutely fantastically into more of a glue guy for the team, but can still put points on the board, no doubt about it, as was proven in the semi-final win against London. Here is Gale inside, strong, good defence there, and more good defence this time from Richardson. Gale doesn't give up on it though, Blaine battling it around with Buzumbru, and the ball will go to the Kestrels.
Yeah, and tough by Martin Gale. We thought he got fouled on the second play, but just kept going up with it, and as we see it there, no foul, excellent no call by the referee as Travis Charles buffs out his chest on that one.
Here is Dads again, and another whistle has gone. I think that will be on Ubantu off the ball. And that is Ubantu's first foul of the day. As Cole Gentry goes cross-court to get the ball. Bit of confusion as to who's going to take the ball. Elliot Dads says, I'll just take it, and here is Gentry. Gentry finds an open Max Richardson. Elliot Dads with all kinds of pressure on him. Here is Moyer for Newcastle. Blaine loses the ball, and Gentry at 5'10" skies for the loose ball. Buzumbru finds a slither of room and puts it in.
How good is he at that, John? I mean, just able to find a smallest of seam, like you just say, and able to finger roll the ball home.
Second player in double figures for the Kestrels. He moves on to 10. Here's Moyer. Moyer, good read there from Dads, and that's been the case all game long. You know, Newcastle just unable to make that extra pass. Solent have just got their hands in every area of the court.
Yeah, and against a lot of teams, those lanes are there, so when Moyer turns that corner, he's able to square his shoulders and get to the bucket, and it's just that Solent do a great job of shutting down.
And there it is again, as Cole Gentry puts on the Jets for two.
Yeah, great move.
65-39.
It seems like Newcastle have never been able to get hold of the pace of this game. Solent have dictated everything. If they've wanted to push, they've pushed. Cole Gentry and you know, Buzumbru have been able to take it down the throat of Newcastle at times, and then if they've not got anything, they're able to run plays, and you've got Elliot Dads finishing at the rim.
9-0 run from the Kestrels that have bridged the second and third quarters. There's another foul, this time on Cole Gentry.
And young players watch Cole Gentry. I mean, a foul called on him there. He's still playing so hard and never talking to the referee. He's always playing the game the right way, and just a class act for me, John.
Very humble player is Cole Gentry, and here is Ubantu. Inside to Blaine, who really needs to get going. Here is Gale, and Gale will go to the foul line for two. And you know, even though Ronald Blaine has 16 points right now, really the only player that's really contributing scoring-wise. David Moyes still hasn't registered a field goal yet. Federici on 9 points, but the others have just been on 4 points. There's only 5 people on the board scoring-wise for Newcastle.
Yeah, and like you say, Ronald Blaine has chipped in. He didn't get off to a good start. He probably had to play well for every single minute of this game for him to have a chance, and he's not done that, but he has got going, and right now must feel shipwrecked. If you need, send help, please. Because some other guys could need to step up, and this is one of the guys, Martin Gale, who can get it going.
And Gale, a 96% foul shooter, makes both of them, and Max Richardson and Travis Charles take a seat. Jackman and Archer come in. Such a luxury to have someone like Orlan Jackman come off the bench like that, as Buzumbru has it.
So crazy, John, how you start, your top scorer in the first half starts on the bench.
Absolutely, yeah. And that pretty much just sums up how Newcastle's game has gone so far. Still a lot of time on the clock as Moyer couldn't hang on to the pass from Ubantu. Jackman, that's too easy. (67-41) to the Kestrels. Blaine just strolls up the floor, puts up a three, and it's short. Here is Buzumbru to Dads. A little bit of room inside. The extra pass.
Oh, nice pass.
Flashy pass there from Gentry. Everyone getting in on the act, and Dads strings a three.
Yeah, and Solent now, you know, making extra passes, giving up good shots to get better shots, and just, you know, sharing the love really and having a good time.
And every time there's a trailer, Solent have their hands up and they get the ball back again. Bazumbru, Gentry, wide open, nearly got it to go. Archer fights for the loose ball and will go to the line.
Yeah, and one of those moments, John, where, you know, that would have taken the roof off, you know, if he'd have made that three on such a good run. You know, and he really wanted that one to go down.
Absolutely, that's 2 fouls on Ubantu, and Solent rampant right now, and Newcastle struggling to find answers.
Yeah, they are, and we did say at half-time that it has to come now, otherwise this game is going to get out of control. You know, if I'm trying to predict how this is going to go forward, I don't see any real energy on that Newcastle bench. Sometimes you have to have guys at half-time in the locker room saying, you know, I refuse to go out like this. We're going to get back into this ball game, and you know, I'm sure they have those guys, but it just doesn't seem like they've clicked at the start of this second half.
And for the Solent Kestrels women, they have remained behind to cheer on the men in action. Of course, Solent narrowly missing out on the National Cup, the Women's National Cup. They lost out in overtime to the Stockport Lapwings, and we collected our breath after what was an absolutely fantastic encounter, and you know, one that will definitely be watched over and over again for many years to come, and a victory that was dedicated to Jim Bennison.
Yeah, and I mean, the Stockport Lapwings just in the league below, able to come back and get that game done. I mean, just I was on the edge of my seat, John, during that game. It went back and forth. You know, Solent obviously favourites, and Stockport just hung in there. And I mean, what a great performance.
As Archer misses the first 3 throw, actually averaging a team high in field goal percentage at 55% from the field, as he misses both, but Jackman with another offensive rebound. And the foul is on the floor, so no continuation of play. And that's Solent's 11th offensive rebound already, and Newcastle with 7. Second foul on Blaine. Archer driving, finds Jackman. Jackman still has the handle. I think Jackman travelled with it.
And he's looking over the referee like small steps don't count, John. I mean, they do. If he would have had different shoes on, John, you think that would have mattered? Would he have got away with that?
This is going to turn into a conversation, isn't it, about sneakers, as Ronald playing with the up and under for 2.
Apparently, you know, due to the Twitter feed, that you are the man in terms of sneaker knowledge.
The great Ishmael Fontaine of the Worthing Thunder tweeted that my sneaker knowledge is insane. But either way, as Aerosol rattles in a 3.
Oh wow, and he friendly roll as well. It's just, you know, becoming a bit of a nightmare day for this Newcastle team, and I'm hoping for everyone involved that they can chip away at this and get some momentum going forward.
Ubantu to Federici, looking for options. Here is Blaine to Gale at the elbow. And Gale will go to the foul line for 2. That's two attempts now where he's taken jump shots but got the contact, and he's going to go to the line. As you see, Mark Elderkin and assistant coach Charles Smith just looking on. Of course, Charles Smith, a legend of British basketball, spent the majority of his time with the Newcastle Eagles, now plying his trade as an assistant coach to Mark Elderkin.
Yeah, and if anyone could shoot the basketball, it was him, you know, able to make tough shots and in bunches and in big finals too. He was always there and counted, and, you know, terrific scorer.
Of course, loved the bright lights of the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham when Eagles were playing in PBL Cup and playoff action, when the playoffs were in Birmingham. Now, of course, at the iconic O2 Arena. Here is Gentry. Inside to Archer, under the basket, and a foul.
I think they're going to call this one on the floor, you know. I think before the ball came in, yeah, that's right.
There, they're right, yep. They call it on the floor instead.
I think it's the right call. I think the call is before he catches the ball or just as he catches it. But nice high-low play there coming from the side, and Orlando Jackman putting Orland Jackman putting it into Archer, and an easy chance to get to the line.
While that was all going on, Oscar Lee Hales into the game for the first time for Team Newcastle. Of course, there is a number of ex-Worthing Thunder players taking part in this final. Nazim Abu Ramadan, a former Worthing Thunder player, alongside Max Richardson, Brendan Okoronkwo, and assistant coach Chris Mays was a former assistant coach with the Thunder alongside Gary Smith. Here is Federici, blocked by Jackman, but the referees have seen a foul. Jackman not happy with the call.
Yeah, and just as you're talking about Worthing Thunder players, I have to big shout out to my man Gary Smith, who hopefully is watching today. You know, a sensational basketball player and a great human being to add.
Absolutely.
You know, great guy is Gary Smith.
Yeah, we've both known Gary for the best part, or Chick, for the best part of about 20, 25 years. A fantastic guy indeed, and now heading up Sir Robert Woodard Academy in Lancing, just off of Worthing, and of course the Division 2 team Sussex Bears play their basketball out of there. Here is Federici to the line, makes them both.
Speaking about Worthing, John, you know, I was fortunate enough to get in touch with Colin Irish, you know, a couple of months ago. I mean, I don't think we've seen a better scorer in the game than Colin, you know, and as Orlando Jackman has the ball. Yeah.
Gentry puts up a three, and it's...
You know, just reminds me of Colin Irish.
And Jackman to pick up the loose pieces. Yabantu. Gap is 29 right now as Blaine strings a three. Looking right at me and Jason as he does that. Here is Jackman, stripped by Yabantu. Good stretch of play this from Newcastle. Lee Hales puts in a two. Two quick buckets here for Team Newcastle. Here is Gentry. Aerosol. As Okoronkwo's pass finds Gale's size 12 foot and goes out of bounds.
So the Newcastle team are still fighting, which is the encouraging sign. You know, maybe a big ask to get this one back, but I would like to see them go on a 10-point run to make this game more interesting.
Aerosol finds Archer on the pick and roll. The extra pass to Bazumbaru, fouled by Gale. That was beautiful basketball from the Kestrels. And Gale with his third foul now in this game. So Martin Gale entering the foul trouble column.
Yeah, you have to love that as a team as well. Andre Aerosol comes off at the foul line as an open jumper, kicks it to Archer, who could shoot a floater, and then gives it up to Bazumba. You know, and they get the best look right at the rim. So, you know, great patience by the Kestrels.
Of course, this has been a trademark third quarter for the Kestrels. You know, alongside their start and how they start a game, they are a strong third quarter team as well. But obviously, the fourth quarter has traditionally been Team Newcastle's bread and butter. But it's a long deficit for them if Solent continue to have their way.
Yeah, and it's a quality outfit you're going against. So coming back against the likes of some other teams, a 20-point down is a possibility, but this is just a tough ask now for Newcastle.
As you see our camera lady Jade there nearly getting a face full there as Yabantu's pass goes out of bounds. Jade, who does such a fantastic job with the Reading Rockets organisation and helps out the NBL Live team on game days that Reading are not playing. Here is Bazumbaru. Driving, goes glass, and a foul. Luke Bazumbaru once more. He moves on to 14.
Do you think by now that they've sussed that he goes left?
Luke Bazumbaru goes left most times. A left-handed player, strong to the hoop, but his size and his quickness really does deceive a lot of players.
Yeah, he's got that quick first step. And whenever he seems to go right, he seems to come back to his left and is able to finish. And great athlete and a great scorer.
Something, of course, for the Worthing Thunder scouting report. Of course, Worthing and Solent meet in a battle of the top two as on the alley-oop, Ronald Blaine off the feed from Yabantu.
Yeah, great pass by Yabantu and a nice finish.
And a bit of a miscommunication there and a backcourt violation as Bazumbru and Aerosol had their wires crossed, and that was parting good defense from Yabantu as well.
Yep, so can you in Newcastle, can you get 3 stops in a row right now? Can you get 3 stops and 3 scores?
That's the question, and that's what Mark Elderkin will be wanting, just to finish this third quarter as strong as possible. Cork. Blaine. Goes up and under, a few spins and scores.
Yeah, nice patience by Ronald Blaine.
Just got to his spot and put in the 2. No nonsense play for Ronald Blaine. Okoronkwo finds an open Travis Charles, and Travis Charles will finish them all day.
Yeah, nice finish. He had to change that shot and able to just finger roll it off the glass. Tough finish by Travis.
Yabantu finds a bit of room from beyond the arc, and Bazumbru will get the loose ball. And Bazumbru couldn't quite get a hold of that, and I think it might have been deflected, actually. We'll just wait and see.
So I'm no referee, John, but I love to see that. I love to see heads-up plays by the ref where, one guy sees it, the other guy doesn't. They get together and they get the right call.
And the ball was deflected out of bounds by a Newcastle hand, so Andre Aerosol will have it. Bazumbru to Okoronkwo. Wide open 3 for Brendan Okoronkwo, and that's off left. Federici. Cork, good hands there from Okoronkwo, and Solent will keep possession, and that's a good thing about Brendan Okoronkwo. He's had to adjust his role this season for the Kestrels, but really making the most of it. Defensively, he's really proving his worth.
Yeah, so speaking to him before the game, and he's won the odd trophy at Worthing and won a lot of trophies at Solent, and really has been a part of the culture change at Solent for me. He came in and with Elliot Dadds, one of those players that was selfless, wanted to win, was positive around the other guys, and he's been one of the big reasons why this club has been successful.
And Okoronkwo, a man who, in his time at Worthing, his 6.5 seasons at Worthing, and his time with Solent, has started most games, but this season has found more of a role off the bench, but really has adjusted to his role fantastically. And Brendan Okoronkwo, a Milton Keynes native. I'm sure his family will be watching back home. They always tune in, or wherever they can, always travel to wherever Brendan plays. As Travis Charles, the Brooklyn, New York native, misses the first.
Yeah, one thing that Travis Charles has found difficult is, it's probably been a tough couple of years for him. Struggling with injury this year, the COVID period as well. When you're an American away from home, these things do test you, and you have to give it up for Travis for staying positive and being an excellent player on this team.
Okoronkwo gets the rebound off the miss from Blaine. And here is Charles in one of his favourite spots. Decides to kick it out. Aerosol. Lovely extra pass from Okoronkwo to Dadds, and Dadds strings it from downtown. Everyone getting involved. Yabantu.
And it's always a different guy, We looked at Orlan Jackman, dominating in this first half, and he doesn't need to in this half. Other guys have stepped up and done their bit.
As Ronald Blaine puts in a short 2, that's 13 points now for Elliot Dadds. Aerosol. Aerosol finds a bit of room, long 2, and Cork rebounds. Ronald Blaine. Federici finally finds a bit of room for 3, but is short. Excuse me, that was Lee Hales who found a bit of room for 3.
Yeah, but like you say, an open 3, and they've not been easy to come by.
They've not, no. That's a rare open 3 for Newcastle, as Travis Charles loses the handle, gets it back and puts it in off the glass.
Yeah, nice touch from the big fella. Looked like he lost it, but, you know, more moves than a plate of jelly as he goes baseline and is able to finger roll that.
Final seconds of this third quarter. So 3 is no good from Hamilton, and a heave from Okoronkwo. Nearly finds the basket, and that ends the third quarter here in Manchester. Solent lead by 30, 88 to 58, and whereas the women's final had everything you could hope for in a game, the men's game has seen everything you want from Solent, but Newcastle just falling short.
Yeah, and I think right now, you know, being realistic, a 30-point lead against this Solent team is a tough one to get, but you have to look forward beyond that. This team is in 8th in the league, Newcastle. Solent is in 2nd. There's no telling that they might meet later on in the season. So what you can't do as a Newcastle team is get your head down, and you have to play with a lot of pride still. A tough thing to do, you know, guys will be wanting to get this clock rolling, and so they can, if it continues, get out of here, but you still have a lot to play for.
Newcastle, who haven't led at all in this game, Solent have led from tip to buzzer, led by, well, Ronald Blaine has 27 points to lead all scorers. Orlan Jackman has 22 for the Kestrels, and Jackman has 8 rebounds to go with that number, but everyone has contributed, as you see on the scoring board.
Yeah, and it won't worry Coach O'Keefe and Coach Guyman one bit. It won't worry them about what Ronald Blaine is doing. What will worry them is that they keep playing as a team going forward, and like coming after this final, their eyes will be on, can we catch Worthing, you know, to see if they can narrow that gap and get above them, and I think that's a big thing going forward now. But like you say, they're sharing the wealth.
Of course, Solent and Worthing will actually be playing in NBL Division 1 action next Saturday at Worthing. But for now, it's all eyes on the fourth quarter here in the National Cup final as the Kestrels lead by 30. But everything going the way of the Kestrels. They're shooting a fantastic 57% from the field, and they've taken 61 shots in total. So to have 61 shots and be shooting close to 60% is just absolutely phenomenal, and that's testament to how Matt Guyman has prepared his team here today.
Yeah, and everything going right for Solent, you know, able to shoot that high percentage and able to shoot more shots because of the rebounding. You know, they're able to out-rebound, I would imagine, Newcastle, and able to get more shots, which is great for them.
Off the back iron was Kabengele's 2. Here is Arisol. Bazumbru putting the moves on Cork, up and under, no good. Big rebound for Travis Charles, and he picks up the pieces.
Yeah, and he's disheartening to any teams, you know, because feels like you've got a good stop and he just comes and sticks the ball back in.
Yabantu. Blaine looking for it off the cut and finds Cork instead, and Cork gets a 2 to go.
And he's been one of the bright sparks for Newcastle. He's kept balls alive on the offensive glass, and he's made a couple of shots when they've needed him.
Cork with 6 rebounds to go with 4 points, or 6 points, excuse me, as Bazumbru has it to Arisol. Dad's feeling it and gets it to go.
Yeah, and Yabantu there just too slow to get out and didn't put a hand up, and you know, you've got the wrong guy. Elliot Dad's able to make those with ease.
3 3-pointers for Elliot Dad's in this game, shooting 3 for 5. Here's Yabantu. Yabantu with the floater along the baseline. Kabengele with the miss off the follow. Bodies all over the place. Lee Hales has it. Yabantu will reset. Blaine straight away for 3 off the back iron. Arisol to Charles. Back to Arisol. Arisol nice crosses over, misses everything though with his layup. Yabantu to Lee Hales. And the ball goes off the bottom of the backboard and came off Bazumbru last.
Yeah, good pass from Yabantu on the break, and just a tough ass to finish against the 2 bigger guys of Solent.
Blaine, short floater, and Okoronkwo rebounds. Finds Dads in rhythm. The heat check there, but Okoronkwo fights for the board, and Solent get it back. Travis Charles scores, and that all came from the hustle from Brendan Okoronkwo.
And that's what he's done for years, John. I mean, he's just done those things. He's, at times, looking back when playing at Worthing and Solent, he's played point guard, he's played centre. You know, he's done it all.
Bazumbru. Aerosol on the spin. Charles again. Charles on the spin, short hook. Gets his own rebound and puts it in on the follow. Everything just dropping for the Kestrels. That's offensive rebound number 19 for them.
Yeah, and you look at the bench, it tells you everything. You know, Travis Charles, who's been, like we say, struggling with injury, has found some form in this game, and the Solent bench couldn't be happier for him.
13.7 rebounds for Travis Charles in this one. Yabantu out of control with that two-point attempt. Was actually looking for options, but had to throw up a prayer. Bazumbru. Charles again. Charles in his favourite spot, but goes cold with the two. Here is Lee Hales. Blaine. Backing down Dabbs. Open Lee Hales for three. Big rebound from Yabantu, the smallest man on the court with that big offensive rebound. And a whistle has gone. And that'll be on Elliot Dads. And that's Dads' third foul as Cole Gentry comes back into the game. And Bazumbru takes a seat.
Yeah, and the story gets worse for the Newcastle team because you have the Solent Kestrels now bringing Cole Gentry, Elliot Sentence, and Archer off the bench. You know, these guys could be probably starting for any other team in the league, and they're sat there just waiting for their turn to come in.
So the Kestrels fans demanding Kai Walker and Chris Scarlett come onto the floor as well. They'll be seeing their turn, no doubt about it, at some stage in this fourth quarter as Blaine misses the handle.
Yeah, and I mean, even Chris Scarlett on the bench, who's been a mainstay at Solent for all these years, you know, coming in, I've seen him come in and dictate games as well by making 4 or 5 threes in a row. You know, that's a luxury to have coming off the end of your bench.
What's incredible is Solent have 97 points, and we're not even halfway through the fourth quarter yet. It's almost an NBA-esque scoreline right now if you're the Kestrels.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like slowing up either.
Absolutely.
Hopefully Aerosol makes this one as he goes
Aerosol
to the bucket.
going inside, up and under. Bit of flashy play now from Andre Aerosol. Usually we see the 90 points up on the board for Newcastle, but they haven't even made 70 yet as Moya has it. Lee Hales, Federici. Federici only has 11 points so far. Gale short with his 2. And here is Okoronkwo, splits the D. Finds Elliot Sentence in the corner. And rebound from Blaine. Here is Blaine again. Blaine finds a bit of room, blocked by Archer. Newcastle keep it. Here is Moya. Moya goes to ground, and a foul has been called. Cole Gentry said that Moya slipped on the floor, but David Moya will go to the foul line. And David Moya, who had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists in their game last week against London Lions, now with a chance to get his first points at the foul line.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
And that says something, doesn't it?
It does, you know, and everything's just seemed to come so hard for Newcastle. You know, Solent there's been a lane, you can see it on the side, there's been a lane, and Solent have shut that off, and it just looks like, you know, as Chris Scarlett, I'll pass on to you, John.
So Chris Scarlett will now check into the game to a standing ovation from the Solent Kestrels fans. At the other end, Ben Proctor has checked into the game for the first time for Team Newcastle as Moya finally, with 5:02 remaining in the fourth, gets off the mark.
Yeah, and going back to Moya, it's just been very tough for him. It's been a tough day at the office, and the Solent defense, you know, has really zoned in on him.
Just imagine the noise when Scarlett hits a trademark three-pointer.
Yeah,
if he gets that chance, that is.
Yeah, I think he will.
Gentry. And here is Scarlett in the corner for three. Is good. Biggest noise of the day for this men's final comes from Chris Scarlett with his first touch. Moya inside to Gale. Gale.
And you know, John, some people think, oh, it's just an open shot with time left, but this is why Chris Scarlett's been so good. He's been sat there for so long. Yeah. He's able to come in and just make a three like it's a layup.
Chris Scarlett at times has made three-pointers look like layups, as well as Moya splits the D, partially blocked from Archer.
And they'll look for Chris Scarlett on the break again. And
here he is again. Puts up a three and no good on that occasion.
Take him out. Take him out, John.
Blaine putting the moves on Okoronkwo. Blaine goes inside, misses everything. Federici with the loose ball. Federici goes glass.
Cole Gentry just says, let's slow down.
Yeah. And now the fans are turning their attention to Kai Walker on the bench. As Archer gets the loose ball. Centered puts up a three. They're all going for it in the corner, aren't they, right now?
Yeah. They're always, and all day there seemed to be an open shot for Solent. There seemed to be somewhere.
And Federici knocks down a long three.
Yeah, tough shot. Fortunately, a little bit too late, but wow.
That's only Federici's second three of the day. Proctor misses everything, and here is Okoronkwo. Finds an open Scarlett, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. Archer, they all want to get in on the action.
Yeah.
Camille Archer not known for the three-point shot, and here is Gale.
Okoronkwo just taking the foul so he can get some subs in.
Max Richardson will check back in. Okoronkwo will take a seat as Jamie Rodwell checks into the game for the first time for Newcastle. Ronald Blaine will take a seat. You'd probably think that's Ronald Blaine's last action of today. 27 points, 6 boards, and 3 steals for Blaine. He's put in a heck of a shift here today as Scarlett with the foul. You can see a very tit for tat and very scrappy, last few minutes here as Nassim Abu Ramadan comes into the game for the first time for Newcastle.
Yeah, and the chance even being down for, your bench guys who very rarely get to play to come in and, experience a final. So not a bad thing for them. But yeah, you will see some scrappy play, and certain guys like, here we go, I'll pass over to you now.
So Elliot Dadds will come onto the floor for the Kestrels, but the other player that will be subbing in will be Kai Walker, who actually played last night for the Solent Kestrels second team in Division 2 as he put up 19 points, 11 rebounds in their 100-77 win over the Richmond Knights. A former Westminster Warriors player, Kai Walker. And here he is on the ball straight away, and he misses the three. Same play as well, but different result. Here is Ramadan. Ramadan looking for the bounce pass to Ben Proctor, but it goes out of bounds as more substitutions for Team Newcastle as David Moyer comes out with just 1 point, 5 rebounds and 3 assists to his name. And here is Kabengele into the game for the first time. And here is Abu Ramadan. Kabengele finds Abu Ramadan. Nice pass, but it's a shot clock violation as one pass too many as Ben Proctor with the ball, and less than 2 minutes left, and result almost academic, and both teams just clearing their benches.
Yeah, I mean, this one's been over for quite a long time, and it's just unfortunate that Newcastle, I mean, I can't fault the effort of the Newcastle team. They've tried to get their way back into this. I think Ronald Blaine's, give it up for the cause. You can see why he's a sensational basketball player, but they just don't seem to have got things going, but that's credit to the Solent Kestrels and how they've played.
Cabangeli, 9 to shoot. As Rodwell ran out of room, and it will go to the Kestrels with around 90 seconds left on the clock in what has been a dominant performance from the Kestrels. They've shot 54% from the field. Everything has dropped for them today. They have hit 10 three-pointers in 33 attempts. Walker, Scarlett back to Walker. They want Walker in on the action here. Drives inside, and Kai Walker will go to the foul line. And even though Brendan Okoronkwo won't mind it as such, as he's contributed in other aspects of the stat sheet, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Yeah. Kai Walker with a chance to register some points on the board, and that will leave Brendan, the lone player, without a single field goal. But as said, you know, he's contributed in other areas.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just looking at the crowd right here, the Solent fans, and if this one goes down, we can hear some noise.
They all count as Kai Walker splits a pair of free throws. Not quite at the same level as Chris Scarlett's three-pointer, but he gets on the board. Blocked by Walker, there it is. And here is Walker at the other end. And Abu Ramadan comes up with the loose ball. As we enter the final 40 seconds of a dominant final here for the Kestrels, as Newcastle's second final this season will once again end in defeat. Here is Walker. Here is Sentence. Sentence a little bit inside, puts it in for 2.
It seems like Sentence has not played many minutes, but you know, he's up to 9 points.
Yeah. And Abu Ramadan just letting the clock go as the ball came off Max Richardson's foot, and 11 seconds left, and it's a case of back to normality for the Solent Kestrels. They've been at their most vulnerable to start 2022, as Kai Walker will shoot a 3. And that'll be short, and Newcastle will dribble the ball out as the Solent Kestrels retain the National Cup for 2022 in a dominating performance over Team Newcastle University, shooting 54% from the field. Orlan Jackman leading the way with 22 points as 5 Kestrel players reach double figures. And on the flip side, Ronald Blaine leading all scorers with 27 points for Team Newcastle, but a second cup final in a matter of 3 or 4 weeks for Team Newcastle ends in defeat.
Yeah, and I think this one a little bit tougher to take because of the dominance of the performance of Solent. You know, it was going to be tough to beat Solent, and you were hoping that they wouldn't shoot the ball that well. You were hoping that, you know, defensively they wouldn't have been just at it. And Newcastle will have had to have played well. I mean, the league positions don't lie, and you've got, you know, second place Solent, you know, challenging for the title against 8th place Newcastle, who are trying to get into the playoffs. And I think, you know, nothing went the way for Newcastle. You know, the effort was there. You know, the coaches must be proud of the effort of their team to get to a second final. But then again, it's all a learned experience, and I'm sure Coach Elderkin will be, you know, reflecting on this, and they'll be able to change things in hopefully their next final they make it.
Absolutely, and this is where the next finals will be. Playoff finals weekend. It's a long way away at the moment, but that will be back here at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester as we conclude what has been a fantastic weekend of basketball here in the Northwest. And it ends with the Solent Kestrels retaining the National Cup in a fantastic all-round showing. And, you know, to have two Solent teams in a final, of course, the Solent Kestrels women coming up short today against Stockport Lapwings, but to have 2 teams in a final just says a lot about what the culture of basketball is like in Southampton.
Yeah, and speaking to Jack O'Keefe before the game, you know, this is 8th season here, like we alluded to, and you know he's loving life in Southampton, and it's really impressive how the programme in general is coming on. I spoke about them playing at Fleming Park years ago. Now with their own arena, you know they've got strong links to the university. They've got a good setup with the junior programme, and you know it is good to see.
So as we see the highlights of what has been an incredibly one-sided final, as the Kestrels come up winners 109-66. As the table officials and the referees will get their medals first off, and they'll be given their medals by Basketball England CEO Stuart Kellett. As we see just continuous highlights, as Elliot Sentence knocking a 3 down there. That's pretty much been the story of the entire game for the Kestrels. They shot 10 for 35 from downtown today. And a huge contributing factor to the Kestrels getting the W here today. And the runners-up will now get their medals. Newcastle University, who started 2022 with an agonising defeat to the Derby Trailblazers in the L Lynch Trophy final. They reached their second final just a couple of weeks later and have come here to Manchester. And make no mistake, even though they lost heavily today, they worked hard, as Ronald Blaine led all scorers with 27 points. Brandon Federici with 16, but it wasn't to be again today, and who knows what the rest of the season will hold for Team Newcastle, if they will make the playoff finals, if they will return here to Manchester come the end of the season, as Charles Smith collecting his runners-up medal from Stuart Kellett, of course. Charles Smith, a legend of British basketball, and Mark Elderkin, who is Newcastle, Team Newcastle through and through, leading his team to a second final.
NBL National Cup Finals. Give it up for the Solent Kestrels.
And as you see the Solent Kestrel fans rising to their feet as the Kestrels retain the National Cup for 2022. They were stung when they were knocked out of the L Lynch Trophy by the Derby Trailblazers, missing out on a second straight L Lynch Trophy final, but they rebounded well. They got back to work, and they have put in a shift today where they have come out convincing winners in the National Cup final. It seems an age when they last won this competition, when the competition was actually last held in 2020, when they beat the Reading Rockets at the University of Essex. It seems like an age ago. But following a short break due to the COVID pandemic, they've come here to Manchester via Essex and have claimed the National Cup 2022. And Mr. Southampton, Elliot Dadds, will claim the National Cup for 2022. And Solent get back to doing what they do best. And that is win. National Cup winners for 2022, the Solent Kestrels. And the veteran of the team, 22 points, 8 rebounds. Orlan Jackman, who in the last National Cup final joined me for commentary at the University of Essex, and 2 years later, as they retain the National Cup, he claims MVP honours. The gold Wilson ball is Orlan Jackman's. As Orlan Jackman strolls up to his teammates as Solent celebrate National Cup glory here in Manchester. As Jason Swaine will be on hand in just a minute to get a word with Orlan Jackman, the MVP of the 2022 National Cup. And before we get a word with Orlan, a big congratulations to all the finalists for this weekend's National Cup Finals weekend. And congratulations to everyone involved, from the volunteers to the fans, for coming down or coming up to Manchester, wherever you were across the country. And a big congratulations to our Women's National Cup winners, the Stockport Lapwings, and our National Cup winners, the Solent Kestrels. Jason Swaine has just about now collected Orlan Jackman for a post-game chat. He has the National Cup and the Golden Ball in his hands. And we're just waiting for the cue as Solent can continue to celebrate their National Cup success. And we are with Jason, who is with Orlan.
Okay, I have Orlan Jackman, who's the MVP of this final. You know, congratulations, but it wasn't done on your own. You had great performances by Charles, Bazumbra, you know, Cole Gentry, you know, really controlled the game. Tell us about the overall team performance.
Here at the Solent Kestrels, anyone could be MVP on any given night. Tonight was my night. Most nights is Cole Gentry. Sometimes it's Elliot Dad. Sometimes it's Elliot Sentence. We just play team basketball, and we love to share the basketball. Like I said earlier, tonight was just my night.
Yeah, and the damage was done in the first half. You really was dominant in plays. You found mismatches. The overall play was exceptionally smart. You know, how are you pleased with your performance tonight?
Yeah, I'm pleased with my performance. It's always good to win and shoot well. It's always good to shoot well and play good, and obviously win.
Yeah, and I no doubt the trip back will be a very, very good one. But, you know, apart from the fans being here who are great, you have people, close family, friends that are watching this game. You've got the mic. It's your chance to speak to them a little bit.
Thank you. Wait, what camera I'm looking at? Right there. All right, tight zoom. Can we get a tight zoom? Thank you for everyone watching the game. My family, everybody, just thank you. Stay tuned. More to come.
Definitely a man of a lot of words, and a great performance today, Orlan. Really pleased for you guys, and enjoy the trip back and the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Big thank you there to Orlan Jackman, National Cup Finals MVP, as he comes up to us as well in the commentary table.
Unmute yourselves.
So big congratulations to the Solent Kestrels. And I think we're going to try and get a word with Solent coach Matt Guyman as well. As we're just waiting for the cue for Matt to join us. As we just await Jason, who is with Matt now. There we go, Jason.
So Matt, yet another win, some more silverware to the cabinet. What pleased you most about this performance today?
It was the cohesion of the team and how locked in they were today. We've had a challenging start to the season at times with people being in and out. To have everyone healthy, locked in, and just the energy that we played with was the most pleasing thing for me.
Yeah, and it was Olin Jackman in the first half who did the most damage, but overall it was spread out. Are you very happy about the overall team performance?
100%. It's the great thing about the group that we have, that one piece slows down, then someone else will impact either offensively or defensively, and I felt like we had a number of contributions in both halves today.
Yeah, and it could have been anyone, but going forward now, your eyes will be on the league after you enjoy this one tonight. You've got Worthing in front of you. You must be looking forward to getting back to business within the league.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's Division 1 is such a fantastic league this year. Anyone can beat anyone, and we're looking forward to getting back to work next week, because we've got a very tough run of away games. So it starts with Worthing next week.
Yeah, good stuff. And I've been privileged to see you grow over the years and see the club grow over the years. And just as on a personal note, just congratulations. And, not only a great coach, but a great person. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. Cheers.
Big thank you there to Solent coach Matt Guyman. And that ends our National Cup Finals weekend here in Manchester. A big thank you to everyone involved for what has been a sensational weekend of basketball. I'm John Hobbs. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone.